looking like you were on the 2-on-none in your playing games there, playing days because
You mean not scoring?
not scoring. Um, what what were you thinking on the bench, when that one didn't go in and
Well, it
then
was the
Gary
two.
comes around?
You know what? It was the two right guys that got it. Because I mean, you got a right-hander, you got a left-hander on their offsides. Both guys are skilled guys, so I honestly thought it was going to be over right then. And anyways, was able to pick it up. The play that created it, Nate made a tremendous play on the 2-on-1 at our net. Went down, made himself big, and the puck went off him. He was able to get and then launch it out there to create the foot race. So he did a great play to create that.
He seems to be like an overtime superstar. I mean, he's been picking up the assists 4 straight now at home. In overtime, you guys have been able to pull it out. So you've obviously discovered some kind of a formula.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but obviously, we have some guys on the bench that only play in that situation that the other guys are sitting watching. So you got pretty much 3D, and you got a group of 4 sets of 2 pretty much that we were putting out. So, he's a veteran guy. He's played. He's been around, and that shows in those situations.
First period, you're losing a hockey game. I saw the media timeout, and I saw you go into orbit on the bench. This is a family program here. I know you can't, respond in kind. But what were some of the things that you were imparting to your players at that point?
Well, you know what? It was a family program on the bench. I didn't go ballistic. I was going to call a timeout earlier, not after the first goal, but earlier than, and I waited for the TV timeout, and obviously we were still 2-0. I thought we lacked enthusiasm, and we lacked energy. We were, it looked like we wanted a lazy man's game, and they're a hard-working group. I mean, they work hard. They have some big body guys. They have good speed. They got some new guys in their lineup that have given them a little bit of jump, no different than us with the guys that we've brought up that have given us a little infusion. And I more or less just said, we're lucky again because we got lots of hockey left. We got 2.5 periods, and but we got to make some changes. And then we went at them again in between periods, and then again after the second period. So, it's good to be resilient, but you got to learn the lesson. I mean, how many times we've been scored on the first shift or the last minute of a period?
Yeah, so but it's nice that they've been able to respond to that. Maybe you struck a little bit of gold here with Gary Nunn. I mean, he's.
Well, I'll tell you what. I watched Gary as a kid out west. He's a Western leaguer, played in Vancouver, and I watched him as a kid coming up. And Craig Billington was the guy that when we had the Higgs kid in early in the year, we were going to bring him back up, and their coach said that Gary Nunn was playing very well. So we brought him in, and I told Craig I was familiar with him. And anyways, when we brought him in, he was staying for one game. Talked to him, I met with him, said we'll play the game, and more than likely you're going back, and we'll see what happens. Then we had injuries. We kept him, and then all of a sudden he started playing like every game was his last. You see the creativity, you see his speed, plays hard for a smaller guy, and all of a sudden now he's pushing guys and producing as he's doing it. So, you know what? It's a great story in a season that hasn't gone our way, and hopefully he'll be around.
Yeah. I've noticed one thing. I try to kind of watch from upstairs and observe, and I've noticed that Mason Gertson is almost a different player from the beginning of the season, and I thought maybe you might be able to comment on his play since he's come back from Fort Wayne.
Well, that's the reason we sent him. We felt he lacked confidence, and came back. I thought he played pretty well. He had maybe a weaker game the other night, but I thought he bounced back again tonight. And when I talked to him, it was funny because, again, when you talk about these young guys and finding their way, their first-year pro, adjusting to not only life at the rink but away from the rink, I said to him, what's the difference? And he said, I'm way more relaxed. I finally said, you know what? Why be nervous, uptight? Just play. And that comes at different times with different guys. And but he's done a real good job. He's got a lot of bite in his game. I like a lot of things about his game. Some of the things that he needs to improve are very, very teachable. And he's a great coachable kid.
The defensemen that take a little bit longer, I guess.
For sure
to
they do.
develop. I mean,
Goalies probably take the longest.
Right.
Defensemen are right close neck and neck with them. They take time.
yeah. Does he and the other guys on the back line today maybe appreciate more from what you tell them because you played in the NHL, you have that kind of background to help them in their development?
Well, Randy and I are both defensemen, so I mean we do have some insight into that. But again, I think the veteran presence of a guy like Max Noro, a guy like Matt Clark, to then now have a Nate Gennon is a real plus for the young guys. Him, Boykoff. I mean, those are guys that are going to find their way that we think are going to develop along the lines we need.